everybody. So I thought before we got into more strength exercises, I wanted to show you some examples of some stretches because stretching is so important for our bodies. It reduces the risk of injury, it helps us to maintain our range of motion, and we feel better about it because we're not restricted. So just again, 5-minute fitness in less than 10. Let's get started. I like to stretch with nothing on my feet if I can, if it's appropriate. But I'm going to go through a few stretches that you might do just when you start your day and as you warm up, and stretches you can integrate throughout your day. Okay, so stretching, standing nice and tall. Watch that your feet fall under your hips. So quite often, especially women, when we say stand with your feet under your hips, women will stand like this, thinking we gauge under our hips from our outside of our existence, I'll say. So you find your hip bones in here, put your feet underneath there, and ground your feet underneath you. Just take some deep breaths, and let's just start with making sure we understand how our own body falls upon itself. Meaning our knees fall over our feet, our hips are falling slightly over our knees, our core is relaxed, our shoulders are relaxed. If you're feeling any tension, you can do the tension up and then take a deep breath and relax. Okay, so pretty simple. So from the side, you're not jutting your head in or jutting out. You know that look when we're like this, okay? So I'm gonna do this first stretch from the side. So hands above the hips slightly, and I want you to feel like you hinge forward slowly. Excellent, you'll feel a nice stretch, elongation of the hamstring muscles. Those are the 3 big muscles behind the top of the thigh, and just hold. And we're going to turn this into a bit of a moving stretch. Press up, roll down, press back down. Make sure you're breathing and pull up. Keep in mind we're all different levels of flexibility. So if you're feeling it here, this is where you're going to stop. Your range of motion might be a little smaller than someone else. If you're in a fitness class, don't worry about looking around to anybody else. Do what you feel comfortable doing, and your body will speak to you. Okay, nice. And roll up. And when I roll back up, I like to visualize my vertebrae. So here I am, my vertebrae stacking one on top of the other until the healing balloons are lifting me up. Hopefully by the end of the stretch, I'm a little bit taller. Okay, so just a little bit warm up stretch. Now we're going to take the right leg and put it in front, left leg behind. Watch that the right leg stays in the right lane, left in the left. Hands on the hips. Again, standing nice and tall through your core. Your shoulders are rounded onto your back, but not collapse forward. And slowly come forward. So a little hinge forward. Okay, keep the head in line. I'm going to look down, so I'm following all the rules. You're going to feel stretch behind the top of the front leg and behind. Those hamstrings are being stretched. And you'll get a little added stretch in by the back leg, in the calf muscles. There's 2 large muscles there that make up what we call our calf muscles, or if you want to be fancy, you can call it your gastrocnemius and your soleus muscles. And round back up. Again, hinge forward. This time let's keep both legs a little straighter, see if you can go a little farther. And round back up. So stretching is important to do when your body's warm, so the muscles are ready to elongate. Be careful not to stretch cold, and especially a very, I'll say, jolted or fast stretch. You can actually injure yourself, and really aggressive stretching, you can pull your muscles right off of your bones and your tendons, or your bones, so please be careful. Okay? Now we're going to sink to that back leg now. So you were here leaning forward. Put the body weight into that back leg. Sitting down slowly, keeping both feet flat on the floor. You're going to feel an increased stretch behind the front leg. And you're going to get a nice little hip stretch in the back leg. Now how long should you hold a stretch? In the perfect world, you're holding a stretch for about 30 seconds. And then repeating the stretch after a little break, okay? And that second stretch is called the developmental part of the stretch, where we're actually constantly working on increasing our flexibility, okay? So don't ever think about that statement where people say, oh, you know, as you get older, you can't maintain your flexibility. It's like everything. As we get older, as long as we practice it, we'll maintain it. So yes, the use it or lose it. You can think of it that way. Legs in each of their lanes, hands above the hips, slowly go forward. We've got a slight bend in the knees to start here. Hopefully I emphasize that on the first go, just as we warm up, head in line. Feel like slight stretch. Okay, so you're gonna feel a nice little pulling in behind the top of the leg. We're just getting our balance here too. So I love to tie stretching into my day. So in my workplace, everyone knows when I'm making copies, I'm stretching. So I can be at the photocopy machine here and be getting a little stretch in. One more time. So I'm gonna flatten the feet to the ground and extend that stretch a little bit by not locking the joints. We always want to keep a slight knee bend, but just opening it up a little bit more so legs are a little straighter. Yeah, you can be creative in your workplace. Making copies while you are working on your range of motion. Shift the weight to the back leg, front toe comes off the ground, slowly to increase the stretch. We're going to stretch that back hip and hold. Now, if you've just come back from a walk or a run, please be mindful of your heart rate. Don't completely stop, suddenly bend over and stretch. That can be very dangerous and cause a phenomenon we call blood pooling, as the heart muscle's been working hard to pump the blood up and down and around, and all of a sudden you stop and the heart muscle doesn't have to work as hard, so the blood is pooling to your lower extremities. You might feel that when you wake up in the morning, you get up too quickly, you get a little bit of a dizziness feeling. So be very careful of that we give our bodies a chance to slowly cool down and then enjoy a stretch. Okay, so I'm gonna move this now that we've done both sides into a cat-cow stretch. So my feet are parallel and we're gonna round up and press down and round up and press down. And similar to any other exercise I've shown you, make sure you work to your own level and speed that's comfortable. Okay? And last one. Excellent. Give your legs a shake. Shake it all out. Excellent. Let's open up our gait a little wider. Okay, make sure you're comfortable. Your knees are tracking over your feet and just press side to side. So whenever you're doing lunging types of stretches, be mindful of where your knee stops. This is a 90-degree angle. Any more than that can put a lot of pressure on those tendons and in that joint. And of course, the bottom rule always is, if it's hurting, stop, but you don't have to stop completely, adapt it, okay? And let's stretch wide and wide. Excellent. Yeah, I know we've done some upper body stuff and some lower body stuff, but really important to integrate stretching into your day. So as we age, we maintain our range of motion and feel good about it. Okay, let's hold to your right side, hand above the knee joint. Try to never put pressure on the knee joint and stretch that arm up. Make sure you can see your fingertips in front of you. You might be wondering why. As soon as I start to go behind me, I can feel a little tension in the top of my spine. So I'll say fingertips in front or in peripheral sight and hold. And just be aware of what everything else in your body's doing. So this supportive arm and shoulder, make sure you're not collapsing into it. Stay nice and strong. Well, what a great way to start my day. I've had a little cardio activity already, and I thought I'm going to stretch with you and give you some ideas how you can maintain your flexibility, stretch, give your body time to take in oxygen. Oxygen feeds our working muscles. It actually helps everything in our bodies, even our organ functions, so always be breathing. And for sure, you can turn on some music while you're stretching and just keep going. There are hundreds of stretches that I could show you. Just picked a few today to share, give you some ideas. But I always like to end with this one. Open up your hearts, make yourself stars because you are one. Don't forget to celebrate you. And give yourself a great big hug and a pat on the back. Awesome job, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this little mini stretch and have a fantastic day. Stretch it out. Okay, bye.